Hey everyone, it's Debbie. I was asked to do a flip through of my Fauxbonichi, so here I am. I've got kind of a rough setup, which I don't think I'm going to stick with, but until I figure out a better way to film these videos, this will just have to do for now. I hope it works out okay for you and that you can see everything okay. First, I thought I'd show you just a little bit of what I've used in the past for my Fauxbonichi. I started 3 years ago, just a little over 3 years ago, and used the Miguel Ruiz journal from Barnes & Noble, and you can see they're pretty thick. And this was where I first started doing a Fauxbonichi, and I just absolutely loved it and did it every day. But the book fell apart after about 5 months, and it's interesting to look back on it now and see how much my style has changed over the years. But you can see here it's fallen apart and everything. So after that fell apart, I went to a moleskin book, which worked out really well for me. I made my own tabs for the months and did my own calendar for each month, and you know, kept doing this. But the only problem that I had with it was I had a lot of bleed through on the pages when I would watercolor or when I would use markers or something. So I didn't like that. So I was looking for something better. And the next thing that I bought was a Fauxbonichi, which kind of started this whole Fauxbonichi craze for people who, you know, for one reason or another didn't want to order Fauxbonichi. They're very expensive, and they cost a lot to ship to the United States, but I really liked it, and I really like the Tomoe River paper. It takes watercolor great, and I really like it a lot. So I decided that I didn't want to use anything else but Tomoe River paper, and found out about something called a Seven Seas Crossfield journal that had the Tomoe River paper in it. So that's what I'm using today. This is last year's book. It's made by a company called nanamipaper.com, and they have just regular journals, or they have these ones that, let's see if I can find a blank page. They have these ones with just this grid on it, and that's what I use for my Fauxbonichi. So here's my Fauxbonichi that I use today. This is a leather cover that I bought off of Etsy. I don't remember where I got it though. Sorry. So I just put a little calendar in here for the year, and then I make my own monthly calendars on at the start of every month, and just do all my planning in my Fauxbonichi. So starting out with January 1st, Happy New Year. Just did a little bit of metallic watercolor and some brush lettering. And I did a 2017 year in review because I had seen somebody else had done that, and I thought it was a really good idea to do. And my setup is pretty simple. I just write the date up here and what day of the week it is, and then do a lot of journaling on my pages. And typically I draw on all of my pages. It's very rare. I don't know when the last time was that I had a page where I didn't draw. And most of the stuff that I draw, I copy off of Pinterest. And I do a lot of watercoloring. So here's some brush lettering that I did. And then this moose here, which I'm really happy with how he turned out, was just a stamp that I copied the image and drew it instead of, well, I didn't own the stamp, I just saw it online. And then this one I think was also another stamp. I think they're called Winspirations stamps, I think is what they are. This page, this is my dog Sophie. She's a 3-year-old Boston Terrier, and she's a little wild child, and so I write about her a lot on my pages, so you'll see a lot of little drawings of her, and then just another cute little drawing that I saw. Typically I do a drawing of just something random, but if something's going on in my life that I can draw a picture of, then I will. Like this day I was shopping, and I was looking for luggage, and I bought a dress, and we had our trees trimmed, so I will draw those pictures. But most of the time my pages have just got completely random drawings on them, and they don't make any sense. They don't go with the journaling. But on this day, my husband had had back surgery on December 18th, and so he was still recovering from that. So a lot of my journaling was about how he was feeling, and we were mostly focused on getting him better. This is more the style that I do today, just like a single image and maybe some brush lettering on the page, and then just journaling all over the page. I was using Lyra watercolors for these drawings. I really like them a lot, but since then I took a watercolor class and I've been using regular watercolors, the Daniel Smith or Core Winsor & Newton watercolors, and I don't really use my Lyra watercolors that much anymore. Then another day of journaling about my husband being sick, and my daughter went back to school at University of Central Florida, and a random pineapple. Just some more drawings about my day. It was, I think I went shopping that day, and it must have been sunny that day. I didn't even write the temperature or anything for a while I was doing that. And then just a cute little wiener dog that I drew. This day we had our house cleaned, and the cleaning lady came in and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, are you expecting?" And I said, "No, I'm just fat." And so she was understandably horrified that she had mistook my obesity for pregnancy, but I think she learned a valuable lesson that day. So I had to draw a pregnant woman there and document it on here, and then I think I got some happy mail that day too. And then I decided to start trying to draw people. So here's, well, this is more like a mannequin, but here's my first attempt at trying to do that. And then on this page I drew a woman, but I'm not very good with faces, so she didn't have a face. And then here's another little story about Sophie. And then here's another woman that I tried to draw, and some brush lettering, and then a bird. Then I got my hair straightened this day, so that was my own drawing, and that's about the best that I can do at drawing a face by myself without looking at something that somebody else has done, and then just some other cute little pictures. This picture here is more the style that I do nowadays. It's like I said, a random picture of something, and I watercolor it, and I was real pleased with how it turned out. I thought it turned out pretty good. Then again, I was practicing the faces on these pages, and then sketched a little dog. You'll notice that most of my backgrounds are white. I don't particularly care for that, but I don't always think to put something on my backgrounds. But this day I used some Tim Holtz Distress Stain on the background, and I like how that turned out. I just don't always think to do it. And the other problem is the pen that I use to write with isn't waterproof, so I have to make sure that it's real nice and dry before I go and put any of the stain on there. And this day I drew a whale with a little girl on a boat, and I really like how that turned out. I thought it turned out really good. And here's a sailboat and just a little doodle and some more brush lettering. This was done with watercolors. I'm pretty sure it was done with my Lyra watercolors, and I really like how that turned out. Just copied it off of an image that I found online, and turned out pretty good, I think. And then this drawing again was, I think this was a stamp set that I copied and just put it on this page. I thought it turned out really cute. Then another face, and just a dog looking out a window. It went real simple on this page. I must have been tired that day, don't know what was going on, and put a little cartoon. And then I started a drawing course, and this was what she had us draw that day, so I repeated it in here and thought I did okay. You know, you can tell it's a banana and some kind of a round fruit, so not too bad for, you know, day one of my drawing class. Got my hair cut and drew a little VW van. Did some brush lettering. Then it was my birthday. My daughter's got me flowers, and I put the little note from my daughter's flowers on here and drew a cupcake and some brush lettering. And my daughter took me out to breakfast, so I took a picture of that. Then I learned a valuable lesson on this page, that don't do watercolor on a page where you have used Tombow markers on the page before, because they bleed if the opposite side gets wet. So my drawing, she has a blue nose, and I had to explain that in there. And then there's another person that I drew. This one I was just playing around with some random backgrounds and, you know, trying to get like a real artsy looking look. I don't know. It's okay. It's not my favorite page. And then here's just some cute little drawings that I had seen that I wanted to copy. Then a little tip in, I found a watercolor class that I started taking, and then just a couple more drawings. I do a lot of journaling. I don't necessarily have a lot that goes on in my life, but I still write a lot about it. And then this is the 31st of January, so the last day of the month. If it's an odd numbered day, then I usually do a 2-page spread just because that's how it works out for the calendar. And did some more drawings of people. And that's it for January. So if you like what you saw and would like to see some more of my Fauxbonichi, then just let me know and I'll go ahead and I'll film some more. I'll try to get a better setup. I'll keep working on that. I did buy a tripod from Amazon, but it was too small and didn't really work for the way I wanted to do things. But either leave me a thumbs up or leave me some comments and let me know what you thought. And I'll be seeing you around in the Fauxbonichi Journalers group. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.